Yeah, I was disappointed for Justin first because he's having such a nice year, and you hate to see that. Obviously, it's a part of sports, and then a big piece of our success. So realize that that's certainly going to change us and have an impact. And again, we have to, as everybody says, everybody's going to have opportunities, going to have to step up, and we have done that this year. But it does present quite a challenge. And the good news for Justin is, as I told the ACC teleconference, it's 4 to 6 weeks. This isn't a long-term thing. He will be back. Hopefully we can develop some other guys, but it makes the road even more challenging than it already is. And like I said, I just want to keep Justin to keep his spirits up and not to play the what-if game. If I could have stayed healthy, that's a mistake in these situations for even coaches, for him, and as it's important for him to just move on and recover. Everything went well. He's got great, Ethan and great rehab people, and it'll turn out good. And we just got to keep grinding away and figuring out how to become a different and good team in the midst of this.
You talk about developing other guys. Who's at the top of the list as guys that kind of need to step up their game now?
Well, I think everybody, but the obvious is Evan Nolte, did a nice job in the second half against Louisville. Mariel's been playing in that role. Devin Hall. And then, Whitey asked a question about BJ Stith. Everybody's going to have opportunities. The guys that are playing a lot will have to, become, as I said, a little different in some ways, but not completely different. We still have to maintain and remain true to the stuff that makes us effective. And, it's just one of those situations where it happens to a lot of teams. And now he's an emotional player. He's draws a lot of attention and can change the games in certain ways. But we also have some good players that will now be thrown into a little different role, and hopefully we'll respond well to it.
You talk a lot. We've talked a lot the last 2 years about how deep, how diverse this team is. Does that maybe make it a little, I don't want to say easier, but maybe easier to weather this kind of storm?
Yeah, absolutely. We have quality players in the program, and now guys will get opportunities, and it's never ideal when that many minutes and that many points are taken away. But you hope to get to the point in your program where if there's a guy that's either off, foul trouble, injuries, that it doesn't just totally derail you. And I believe we have the players that certainly can do that. But it's still a challenge, and we'll like I said, it'll be a work in progress. We'll figure this out as we get into competition and as we're practicing how we'll look and who will step up and the little subtle changes we'll have to make.
Have you thought about how much more animated your bench is going to be these next couple of weeks with Justin on there?
Yeah. Well, I will see how much he can do. At least with his right hand, he can wave a towel around. But no, he'll be here. He'll obviously provide encouragement, and I think that'll be so important. And that's his personality. So he'll still infuse his life and his energy into the guys and into the game in that regard. So of course that'll be good. And sometimes when you're sitting out, you see some things, and it can help you. And it's whenever you have an injury in the midst of things like this, it's I don't know how from a basketball standpoint, but it does make you take a step back and say, hey, this doesn't last forever, and you think long term, and that's hard, but a good thing also for young athletes that sometimes feel invincible. It's just reality. And so I know Justin, he's grounded, and he's growing so much as a young man, and of course as a player, that he'll use this for good, and I think it'll be a positive for him. Certainly long range.
Do you see him coming back at 100%?
Oh yeah. This is from what I understand. We'll know more in a couple, 2-3 weeks, but this is a pretty classic. You have your surgery, they fix the fracture, and you heal, and it's just a matter of he'll be fine and it won't affect him. It's just right now at the time, it's like how quick can you get him back? Being smart, not pushing the envelope, but getting him back when he's safe and able to do stuff, function with good. Function in his hand. It's his left hand, and obviously him being a lefty, the pinky, that is a little more significant. It's a fair question. I want to ask the doctors and that if it was his right hand, would he be back sooner? Would they have done anything different? But I think it had to be done what was done, and certainly we have, as I told you, one of the best hand surgeons around in Dr. Chabra, so everybody feels great about long range, without a doubt.
NC State gave you a pretty good game when they were here.
They did, yeah.
How do you feel about going down there? It's just a pretty hostile environment.
For sure. They they beat Duke there. They're talented. That's this league on the road, and a team like that, you saw them here. You have to play, and be a big mistake on our part is everybody's saying, well, you went through this 3-game stretch, and now you can take a breath. No, you can't. I mean, take a breath on your day off on Sunday, great. Now we get back to it and are going to have to play on the road, play well, and that's what's in front of us.
You experimented some with the three-guard lineup earlier in the non-conference. Could that come back into play since Justin's not available anymore?
The
three-guard lineup, so Devin, Malcolm, and London on the floor at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I look at this, we always play three guards in essence, because I look at, Justin as a guard, and whether it's Mariel, again, I've used Evan. Evan's more of a kind of a forward type, but I think all that stuff, there'll be times when we'll have three, I think, different rotations out there, whether it's Devin, Mariel, whether it's Evan with Malcolm, London, and those guys will have to come out, so I think there'll be certainly different looks.
Does NC State, how do they look now compared to when they came in here? Kind of doing anything different compared to when they came in here?
Yeah, no, I mean, they've certainly been competitive. I think they've been a little inconsistent with their youth, but their youth now is getting a lot of experience. And as we know, when you're going into play on the road and you're having a good year, you're going to get people's, real hard best shot. And that's what I see. They have great guard play with Lacey. And, the Turner can really shoot the ball flying off screens. Their interior's good. They got quickness with Kat Barber. They have definite talent. They really do. The Martin twins, so I can go through it. And they can play in multiple different ways. They can go four guards. They can go more of a traditional lineup with, like I said, some guys that have some big playability, and we'll have to be ready for it.
I feel like Justin's a quick healer. I mean, he got over that ankle.
I can't. Yeah, I mean, that's how do I know that?
Right.
So
Would you like him back for the ACC tournament? Obviously, is that a goal?
Not really. We don't want him. Of course, we want him back. Yeah, I mean,
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, no, we're hoping he gets back as soon as he can. I don't know when that'll be. Obviously, yeah, it goes. How his rehab goes the next 2 weeks, and 2-3 weeks. Then we'll know, is it on the 4-week deal or is it going to be on the 6-week deal? But as soon as possible that he's safe, so he can get experience. And he's a big part of this. So again, hopefully he's drinking his milk and he's taking his vitamin D and doing all the right stuff.
You mentioned Evan. He's a guy who's kind of, he's had his moments like the NCAA tournament last year. How big of an opportunity is this for him right now? Well,
yeah, it's a good opportunity for him, and he did a nice job against Louisville. Evan's obviously not Justin, but he's different. Evan's a smart player. He knows how to play, and he gives you some size. He's a good passer. Though his numbers don't suggest that he's a shooter, he's a threat. And he made a big three for us in that game. He understands the game, heady defensive player. So there's some nice things there. We've seen stretches, what Mariel's done, even Devin. So those guys will have more opportunities. And again, it'll be by committee without a doubt. But I think that this for Evan and all those guys is an opportunity, not a welcome opportunity. You'd never like to see a player go down on a teammate go down, but you just say, okay, this is what I trained for. This is why I'm always ready. I mean, when you tell your players, you look at them and say, stay ready, keep working, because who knows what happens. Things can change, and obviously we're experiencing that right now.
Is London a guy that you'd like to see step up to, have the green light?
Yeah, I mean, I think London the last couple games, Carolina, even against Louisville, his stat line, he took 8 shots. None of us shot well. Nobody shot well in that game. But, yeah, he's got to look to be opportunistic, but be more aggressive. Same with all of our guys. Everybody's going to have to step up from each spot, but he's a guy I think that can do that and has shown that in the Miami game, the Carolina game, and I like it that he's looking more for his offense while still being true to finding people, getting others involved. That's going to be a very important piece.
The final thing I have is just what do you have to do to beat NC State? Go down there and win.
Yeah, I mean, we got to play. You got to do the things that we always do at a high level on the road. I feel like a broken record, but we took care of the ball against Louisville. That's always important, to take care of the ball. We rebounded pretty well. We didn't give them transition buckets. We got, for the most part, good shots. You're going to have to do that and, again, use the balance that we have and have guys step up.